Folks, there's been a bit of discussion about the headless guitars that I've been playing lately and why am I playing them, and does the fact they don't have a head affect sustain or tone or anything. And I thought I would do a little experiment today. One person, particularly on Facebook, it was interesting. He brought this up, and it just started a little bit of a discussion about the fact that headless guitars are designed to compensate for the fact they don't have a head on them, and that the head affects sustain, but there's something kind of magical, cool being done to the headless guitars to compensate. Here's my American Telecaster. It does have a head on it, 1989. I'm going to strum the notes, all the strings at once. I'm also going to strum the G string probably, or the D, one or the other, probably the G, just to see individually how long they will sustain. I'm going into a Zoom Live Track L12. I have the Zoom set to a very modest gain setting just so it can detect any audible vibration on the string. So I'm just going to hit record. We're going to see how long a Telecaster sustains. I'll probably grab a Paul Reed Smith, maybe a Gretsch, or a few other things behind me here, Stratocaster, maybe a Les Paul from in there. Then I'm going to put my 3 different headless guitars on this, and let's see how long they sustain. And I will try my best. I'm going to do multiple takes so I don't, I'll kind of average the attack of the strings as I pull across. I realize I might strum a little harder or I might not. So I'll do it like 3 times to make sure I'm at least ballpark and kind of average it out. I don't want to unconsciously affect it just because of the way that I strum. Okay, so here, let's give this a shot. I am in the bridge position here. Okay, let's do the G string. Everything is exactly the same. I've not changed anything on the mixer or anything. And this is my new headless Latitude guitar. And I'm in the neck pickup to start. I'll do it the same kind of deal, about 3 strums, and then we'll move on. Here is the neck pickup. Make sure I'm fully up on the volume. I want you to see the mixer this time. It's channel 2 that I'm going into. I'm going to do one more strum here, and what I want you to notice is this. It's going to become inaudible to me at a certain point. You see the meters there. But what I'm doing, I'm waiting till it gets to the it does finally zero out after a while. I can't hear the string myself, but it's still picking up signal to like the very end there. Still got 1 dot on the number 2 there, you see it. When it starts to flicker and go out, that's when I'm judging that signal's not there. So it's a long time actually. There it goes out. Okay, cool. I wanted you just to see that. Okay, let's try Paul Reed Smith. This is one of the SE versions, standard 24 fret. And we'll go with the neck pickup first. Okay, now here's my really cheapo Grote Headless. And so this one's only like $179. So I've got it on the neck pickup. I've got everything full open. Let's see what we got with this. Here is a Gretsch Streamliner with P90s in it. So let's see if a semi-hollow resonates better. I'm in the neck pickup to begin. Okay, here's my Les Paul Studio from back about, what was this, 2008, I think, 2008. This is chambered body on this one. On the neck position, rhythm position. Here is a deluxe player Stratocaster. So let's do, probably still just do the bridge and the neck in this. I would think it would be similar with the of course these are noiseless pickups too. Making sure everything's wide open. Here we go. Okay, I have one more headless guitar. It's a single pickup. It's a little Traveler from back, good gosh, probably 1997, 96, 98, somewhere along in there is when I bought this. It's an American made. One more thing that kept coming up in the controversy is that there are things that make a headless guitar compensate. And I will say, you know, compensate for the lack of having a headstock to give it more sustain in it. Like with this one, I can't say that there's any more wood or anything added to it. With the two that I have, both of them are, and maybe so with a Strandberg or something, some higher level of a headless guitar. The ones I have, I don't think so. I mean, I can't see that there's anything strikingly unusual or different about the Grote or the Latitude. The Latitude is a much more substantial piece of wood, so it does have more density to it. But yeah, I mean, the thing I think it would boil down to too is how important is sustain? How often do we need to play a note that sustains more than 5 or 6 seconds? I mean, certainly I'll play a big chord and let it ring sometimes. If we're playing like a Boston song or something that had a big long droning note or something, I might grab an E-bow or something to sustain a note longer. Or if you had a sustainer built into your guitar or something like that, usually I would go with an E-bow. You can get pedals that will hold a note if you need to sustain a note for a long time, but I don't know that there's any reason to hate on a headless guitar because it might not have sustain, or I don't know that you have to super engineer it so that it does have sustain. I think sustain maybe more than anything has to do with scale length maybe. Sustain maybe also has something to do with how close the pickup is to the string. There's a guy named Jim Lill that does Lill, look him up. He does much more scientific type studies on guitars, mostly on guitar tone, where does the tone come from, all that. But I think basically pitch, how tight your string. Hopefully all these guitars were fairly in tune. I didn't check every one of them. I think the Les Paul might have been out a little bit. But still yet, I think it would give you a sense for how long. The guitar that seemed to sustain the longest by far was the Gretsch with the P90s in it, my thought. So, but I think certainly any of these headless guitars, if you're worried about the sustain of your guitar, I don't think you need to. I don't know any time that I sustain a note more than 2 or 3 or 4 seconds, maybe tops. I'm just too impatient to, I've got to be moving on to new notes. And sometimes a big long chord that we just let ring out. But hopefully that's illuminated you a little bit. I don't think that these guitars that I have are that there's any kind of special engineering or anything goes into it. They're just, matter of fact, I have pictures that the people from Latitude sent me showing me one of their new headless guitars being contoured, and looks just like a piece of wood just like any other. I don't know if there's anything strange or unusual about the bridge or anything. It's just a very simple fixed bridge with rollers on it. I like the fact that they stay in tune really good because you got brass rollers in there rather than something that could possibly bind like this little one here. Yeah, this kind of stuff can bind a little bit, and this one does have like a rollers thing that goes through here, but then it's got tuners. You just tune it back here just like you would a regular guitar. But I will say this, the two headless guitars, the Grote and the Latitude I have, stay in tune great. Once I tune them, they seem to, again, get them set just right. Now, of course, weather could change, temperature, humidity, things could change that. So you always want to fine tune them, but they stay in tune way better than my other guitars. And I do like the tone, and I like the convenience of it, the fact that they're more portable and they're very lightweight typically. Do they look as pretty? No. That came up in the controversy too. Which ones do you like the look of? Yeah, they look chopped off. They're not as pretty as, to me, a Telecaster is still one of the most beautiful guitars at a Strat. I like the hollow body semi-hollows too, like an ES335. My opinions, folks. Peace to all who watch. Subscribe to the channel if you like.